So I've been thinking about this for a while, and I think I might have figured this out finally. I know this sounds kind of ridiculously interesting. Thanks to Jim Sterling, of course, if you know who that is. No, Jim Sterling had nothing to do with this, but anyways. So, I've been thinking about, what is really life? It's really, by definition, anything that just exists. And some people have always argued, if they believe in a creator, they don't believe. Now, personally, from what I've seen so far, I believe that everything is infinite. There's no end, there's no beginning. I mean, it just makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. But at the same time, though, I've realized something else that is actually really worth talking about. Some people like to think that there's only, when we die, that's it, and it can't be anything else. But really, if you think about it, I mean, again, not arguing about, what had happened in the past and what happens in the future, but, when you really think about, how many possibilities there are, we are one of those possibilities, that we just exist. We are something. We are not nothing, because obviously this is something. And I believe that is the reason why the universe is the way it is. Because if you think about it, it's either something exists or nothing exists. And, when you look around, it's a whole bunch of something, but you don't really know what it is until you really look into it, what exactly is what it is. See, I believe that the origins of life is, the reason we exist is so we can make all these possibilities come true. Because at least with life itself and all the possibilities, it's progress. It's this form of reality or existence that we can do something. And if it was nothing, now again, not to argue the argument where nothing came from something. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not going to bring that up because that's kind of a different story. That's kind of like talking about how we were created, if that was the case. But at the same time, though, arguing why we exist. It might sound the same, but it's two different clauses. But really, the way I look at it, if we're really trying to be honest with ourselves, the reason we exist is because we are something. We are, whether you believe life was some sort of an accident or, I believe that the reason why life is infinite is because, it gives that possibility. It gives more possibilities. So it is something in the end. So we're just part of a big cycle that just repeats itself. Maybe we die and our energy goes somewhere else, but then at the same time, maybe we, what the soul is, if it does exist, because again, there's so much we don't know, that would just expand on this horizon or expand on this field. But at the same time, though, it's when you really think about it, there's just so much we don't know, but yet at the same time we know that there's a bunch of things that do make sense in the end, but at the same time, though, it's really the only way to figure that out is to keep making progress. And when you really think about how big the universe is, and, that is the meaning of life. Because, by definition, it's to make progress, to exist somehow, to explore all these possibilities, because that's exactly what it is. So I think life is special because while we're here, not just on this planet, but if we can literally do anything, because we can turn our possibilities are not limited. Anything is possible. And we should be able to explore that horizon and become something else that we've never thought was possible. So that's why everybody's different in their own. That's why everybody's special, because we exist. And then if we die, and we'll still exist somehow, but maybe something we just don't understand yet, It's like an infinite cycle that just keeps going, but it also keeps changing, but it still stays relative. Again, Albert Einstein once stated, when you think about constant motion, you're going to get a lot of different results. So again, if everything stays in motion, then things are making progress. If things are making progress, then we are, we exist. And, when you really think about it, how many other planets exist? How many other galaxies? Because that's part of life too. But just because humans haven't seen it yet, does that really mean that, it doesn't exist? Or that something else isn't out there? because that's a huge breakthrough if anybody could make sense of that analogy. But my point is this, you know, if we didn't exist, then all this wouldn't mean anything. But because we do exist, it does mean something. Maybe not arguing about like how we came into existence. Heck, for all I know, maybe we were all just here. You know, it's all infinite anyways. You know, let's say that there was a creator of some kind. Well, then where did that creator come from? Maybe that creator had another creator, and it just goes on and on and on. You know what I mean? It just, like, either way you look at it, you have to admit the number one thing is that the universe, or just all of existence, it's endless. It can go on. There's no limitation with it, and it means something because it allows us to keep making progress and to make more choices. There's no limit to how much you really can do. Like, you know, when you really think about that number, it can, you know, it just keeps going on and on and on, and, you know, it never ends. It's an idea that never gets old. I mean, as long as it's utilized correctly. I personally don't think it does. But anyways, that's what I think the origins of life is. To do these things, to make sense of these things, to go from here to there, go from point A to point B in a matter of amount of time, and then space, and then now acknowledge it, and then to make it like an accomplishment. It's never an ending thing. It just keeps going on and on and on, and that's just the way it is because that's what it's classified as. So, what do you guys think the origins of life are? You know, I'd be interested to hear some comments in the comment sections about this. So again, comment, rate, subscribe, favorite, share this video. If you think this video is interesting, you know, subscribe for more. I do like making these videos.